What is up, mountain biking headquarters? I am posting this post today to give you guys some information on 7 weird ways to get a great deal on a used mountain bike. So, as most of you guys might know, if you've read any parts of my blog, I came from the triathlon community, so I'm very accustomed to spending lots of money on bikes. And when I got into mountain biking, I was like, man, I can't. My wife actually was like, you're not buying another, multiple $1,000 bike when we already have all these expensive bikes in the garage. And I was like, no way, man, I got to get a great bike. So, but bottom line is, I had to find a way to get a great deal on a used mountain bike. And that's what this post is about. Hopefully, you guys get some value out of it. So, let's just dive right into it, and I will discuss these ways in more detail. The first weird way to get a great deal on a used mountain bike is to buy a mountain bike from a mountain bike rental store. So, a lot of rental stores are in mountain areas. So, wherever the closest mountain is to you, where you would go skiing or snowboarding, that's a great place to start. Sometimes there'll be like ski shops and mountain bike shops below the mountain or outside. Before you have to go all the way up into like the mountain town, and those shops are also great to check with. But basically, what you're looking for is you call them up and you say, "Hey, do you have any used mountain bikes?" Because all these mountain areas, mountain resorts, will do mountain biking in the summertime because that's their downtime, and they're basically just vacated. That's what they do in the summer to make money. So if you can get in there and they have an inventory of mountain bikes and they're constantly changing them over because they got to have the newest and greatest. So you can go talk to those guys and be like, hey, do you have any used mountain bikes that you're trying to clear out for the next when they bring in their new inventory, and you can get a great deal that way. So that's one way. Second way is to message a local mountain bike group. So there's lots of Facebook groups. If you just go onto Facebook and join the mountain bike group in your local area, I would join if you're really trying to get a good deal. Join like 10 different groups, and they welcome anyone that wants to that's passionate about mountain biking. And I would just post in the group like, hey, I'm looking to get a mountain bike. I'm trying to find a good deal on one. If any of you guys have any used ones, just let me know. And then also check in with local mountain bike stores because there's a lot of group rides, and there's probably like a lot of times they'll have email lists going around, so you can get involved with some of those groups that they when they do those group rides, and ask those people, because a lot of people will upgrade their bike over time, then they're stuck with this used bike which they spend a lot of money on, but in reality, as I'll get into later, it's hard to get any value out of that bike, so they might be willing to sell to you for a great deal. Way number three is maximize Craigslist. So Craigslist is still working in a lot of ways. First, just check it to see if there's any good deals on Craigslist. Expand your search. So if you're willing to drive 100, 200 miles to get a good deal on a bike, it's going to open your chances of actually finding the deal. And then post on there that you want a bike, because sometimes people do search that. I've heard of people doing it where you can basically just post on Craigslist, I am looking for a mountain bike, and see what comes up. Just throw all of that out into the world of Craigslist and see what can come back to you. But mainly just maximize Craigslist. Way number four is get a clearance mountain bike from the manufacturer. Now, this one I just threw out there because I actually have never done this, but in just my business mind, I know that this is possible. Is basically all these manufacturers of these mountain bikes, they will create this bike, and I know that they get clearance products back, or maybe they get bikes returned to them. They're in great condition for whatever reason. I think it's worth trying to contact these mountain bike stores and just say, hey, do you have any clearance product out there? Because in truth, I think that this could be one of the best ways to get like an amazing bike for a great deal. So that's just another thing to think about. Way number five is use mountain bike specific classified websites. So there are like classified ads for used bikes, and I'm going to reference this later on and kind of share with you a link that will list them all. But there's like Pink Bike. I forgot all the other names, but that's why I have them listed elsewhere. But anyways, and these are just mountain bike specific classified ads. So this has got a whole list of tons of bikes that are for sale right now for sale by owner. I'm sure some of the people that post on there are some shops, but these are used bikes that people are trying to trade in to get a new bike for themselves or whatever. But they are good deals on there. You just really need to know what you're purchasing before you get on there and kind of know what the price points are if you're going to go that route, because you just don't want to buy something that's used that you're not really getting a good value on, because that's just something to think about when you go into those classified ads. You really got to know the value of the components on the bike if you go this route. You really need to know the value of the components on any of these methods, but especially when you're talking about the classified ads, because I feel like those prices are a little bit high. Those people are trying to get some value back when they sell that product, sell their bike. Weird way number 6, ask local bike shops if they have any used inventory. So local bike shops will, they might get bike trade-ins or whatever, see if they have any used inventory. If you have like 10 bike shops, let's say in your city, I would call all of them and give them your size, the bike size you're looking for, because that's an important component. By the way, I'll also link to a chart I created on my blog that gives you, where you can just say, plug in your height, and it tells you exactly what size bike to get. So I'll plug in that later. But once you list the size you're looking for with all of those different stores, they'll have your name on file, they got your number. So when any of those bikes come in, they'll contact you, and boom, there you go. You've got a great deal on a bike. And then also just check to see if any bike stores that are closing or moving. I just checked the other day with this guy that said, hey, this mountain bike store up in a town close to me is closing. You could check with him. So that stuff happens all the time. Bike stores are downsizing. They're trying to move into cheaper commercial space. They need to get rid of some inventory because they can't store all the bikes anymore. So that's another thing to think about. And lastly, use social media to find a mountain bike for sale. Just put your request out into the universe, which I guess the universe is now social media. At least it feels that way sometimes. And see what the social media world can present to you. Because if you think about it, you can connect with so many people just with a simple post on social media like, hey, I'm looking for a mountain bike. If any of you guys have a used mountain bike, let me know. Just think about all the people you know. I'm sure some of them have mountain bikes that they haven't ridden in 3 years, that they probably spent a fortune on, and they're like, dude, I just need to get this out of my garage, man. You can either have it if it's a close friend or something, or just give me like a couple $100, and boom, you've got a great deal on a mountain bike. And as I mentioned, if you want to just Google this, mountain biking HQ 7 weird ways, and then the post will come up. And inside that post, I've got a size chart with all of the details of you kind of plug in your height, and it'll list the exact size bike you need to get. And then also has links to those other mountain bike classified ads that I spoke to you about: Bicycle Blue Book, the Pros Closet, Pink Bike. So hopefully you guys will get some, you can use this as a good resource. But yeah, just Google mountain biking HQ 7 weird ways. And hopefully you got some value out of this. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching my video. I'm out.